I want to know how PV cells are made.
Well, PV cells are made from a substance called silicon, and silicon is found in the Earth's crust. It forms about a quarter of the Earth's crust. So we find it in sand and rocks and various other...
So there's silica in here?
So there's a form of silicon within this sand. But it's the wrong form to make a PV or photovoltaic cell. So what we need to do is we need to get it into a pure crystalline form, a bit like this crystal here. So we manufacture a large, long crystal, it's about 1 meter long, and it's a cylinder. We take that cylinder and we cut the edges of that cylinder to make it into as square a shape as possible.
Why do you do that?
It's so that we can fit them together within the module. So if they're square, obviously you can put them close together. You get more cells per surface area than if you have a complete round circle. So we take the crystal, we cut the edges off, and it's still a long crystal, so it's now in the form of a block, and then we slice it like a loaf of bread, and we end up with wafers. Those wafers we process, and we put an electrode on the front, an electrode on the back, so you have a positive and a minus, a bit like a battery going into a torch.
The solar PV module is just one part of the process that converts sunlight into electricity we can use. There are many different parts to the PV system, and I'm going to talk to an expert, Martin Cottrell, to find out exactly what they are. So this is a PV module.
That's right.
What's it made up of?
Right. It's made up of lots of these.
Okay, so that's what's sitting inside here.
That's right. That's just what's here. It's a PV cell made out of silicon, and there's lots of them laid out in this module here.
And what are the lines that run through it?
Well, those are actually the contacts. Those are the very, very thin wires. What you've got is a whole series of little wires at the front and connections on the back.
So all these contacts come together to collect the solar energy and convert it into electricity.
Yeah, well, on our
module.
module we've got a couple of wires that come out the back, and in a typical system we'd obviously have lots of modules together. We'd connect them all together on our roof, and then we'd have a couple of wires. We'd take them inside the roof, and we need obviously a few more things to make a system. What we've got, we need some wire to take the electricity from the roof into the house.
So would that be running down the back of the module?
Yeah, that would be the wire that we'd use to connect them all up together.
Yeah.
Then we bring it in through the roof of the house or the building to one of these. And this is a switch. To make the system safe, it's a part of the regulations. You have to put one of those in so you can turn the system off, because it's quite hard to turn the sun off.
Yeah.
The next thing is an inverter. This takes the electricity from the array and turns it into 240 volts, so you can connect it directly into the electricity system in the house. Lots of electronics in there, lots of safety features and lots of other little features just to make the system operate.
Okay.
And once we've got 240 volts, and this switches the AC, the alternating current, the output from the inverter.
Okay.
That's then connected into the electricity system in the building or the house. And one final thing you need is a display. Now, great thing about PV systems is they work really well. They're silent, you just don't know whether they're operating. So without some sort of display, you can have a system sat on the roof and you've got no idea how well it's working. So a display like this will show you how well it's working, how much it's generated today, how much it's generated since you installed it. You can also get meters that show you how much CO2 you've saved.
Wow, okay. And what's this?
Well, this is a little meter. This is a normal electricity meter like you'd find in any building. You'd always have one of these on the end of your system, and that just monitors how much you've generated, and that way you can get some money back from the electricity company.
Sounds good. So it goes from the roof?
From the roof, through our wires, through our switch, into our inverter, through our other switch, and into the building.
So what have we learned? A PV module is made up of cells. The electricity flows from the PV module along cables into the building. The electricity generated by a PV module has to be changed by an inverter into the form we normally use. The display shows you how much electricity is being generated.
So all those different components come together to convert solar energy into electricity. you.